Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Glad you could join me here today as always. And it's dark outside, so I can't tell you what kind of day it is in St. Louis, Missouri today. But I can tell you what, it's a good day for me because it's been 29 years since I did anything like drinking or drugs. Yes, a long time ago, I kind of got bored with drinking and doing drugs and partying. It just didn't work for me anymore. Now, was it easy to quit? Yeah, it was easy for me to quit because I had quit many times. Was it more difficult to stay quit? That was a little more difficult. I had to get some help there. So I got in touch with a group of people and they showed me another way of life, which really worked pretty good. It was kind of difficult for me to accept this though, because living my life as a partier, and I was a worker too, and I didn't drink every day or do drugs every day, smoke weed or whatever I did. I never did any of the heavy drugs, but I did smoke a lot of weed and do some pills and speed, we called it back then. But it just kind of got to the point where it just wasn't any fun anymore. But I had nothing to replace it with. Anytime you have a habit that you don't want to do anymore, you have to find something to substitute it with, because your mind or you are not a vacuum. If you eliminate one thing, you will be looking for something to fill it with. And if you don't fill it with something positive, well, I guess I should say you are a vacuum, not that you're not a vacuum. Something's going to be drawn in there, and it's your choice what that something is going to be. And if you don't choose, then something or someone or somehow something will be chosen for you. So you need to find something positive to fill it with. Oh, messed up my light there. And my suggestion would be, whatever kind of desires you have in your heart, I would fill it with something that moves you in that direction. At that time in my life, I had a desire to feel better, to be happy, to not be as miserable as I was. It just seemed like nothing worked for me anymore. Nothing of the old way worked. It was time I had to make a change. I was 30 years old then. I struggled with it for a while. I tried to quit for about a year and a half, and I'd quit for a few weeks, and then I'd go drink again, maybe one night and party a little bit. It just was hollow and empty. It just didn't do for me what it used to do for me. And as I said, I was kind of trying to quit by myself, and it wasn't difficult for me to quit. I had quit before for years at a time, but I traded it off for sports or something like that. And then maybe I would get hurt and I couldn't do my sports. I'd go back to drinking a little bit. I had a lot of fun drinking and partying. I'm not going to deny that. It was some good times. I wouldn't trade it for anything. But there at the last, it just wasn't fun anymore. It's like a lot of things we do in life. We enjoy them for a while, and then we change or something changes, and we don't really want to do them anymore. They just don't bring the satisfaction that they used to. I used to run a lot. For years I ran. I love to run. I still love to run, but I've kind of moved in different directions. I like to lift the weights now and just stay in shape like that, and running takes a little bit too much out of my, takes the zip out of my legs, and I have a job that's very physical. We climb ladders, we do a lot of walking, a lot of moving, and I like to move very fast. So when I run, it kind of takes the fastness, if you like, out of my walk. And I don't like that. I prefer to feel good at work. I feel to move fast and get a lot done. So I drop the running and I lift weights now, which I really enjoy, working on my body and trying to, or getting it to look the way I like it to look. But back to the drinking and drugging. I quit drinking in 91, and I did pretty good for a while. And I did what these people told me that would replace the alcohol. But I just didn't quite understand that part of the idea that they had was I needed to help other people. When I started feeling better, I needed to pass it on to other people. And for some reason, in that first year and a half, I couldn't get that. I know that's simple, but I just didn't understand how doing anything for you was going to do anything for me. I was still of the old mindset that what am I going to get out of it? I want to go out and get something to make me feel better. And at that time, nothing was making me feel any better. I mean, relationships, women, drinking, drugs, none of that had worked anymore. So I kind of started getting kind of miserable again after about 1.5 years of not drinking and doing drugs. And I got to running with some girls, and we went to this concert, and I did some speed, and that didn't do much for me. So I kind of started going back and asking these people, what do I need to do? And they said, we told you what you need to do. You got to help other people. So I started helping other people, and that was in 9/20/92. And haven't had to drink or do any drugs since then. So that's pretty cool for me. And if you have a problem with drugs or alcohol, there's a lot of people out there. There's 12-step programs where you can get help. You can look in your phone book, directory, you can find them. Or if you drugs, there's programs for drugs, alcohol abuse, any of that stuff. You may need treatment. I never went into treatment because I never had gotten bad enough yet to where I had to physically have it, but I know some people get there and you have to detox. So you may need that or you may not, but look up one of those 12-step groups where you can get some help. I mean, there's one for drinking, I think there's like 60 different 12-step, cocaine, overeating, I don't know how, there's a bunch of them. But you can find one to get some help, and you have to be willing to ask for help. And these people want to help you because, as I learned, by helping others, it helps me. If I can make your life better, guess whose life gets multiplicatively better? Mine does. So I'm a grateful man today that I found a different way to live. And by reaching out and helping others to have a better life, my life becomes better exponentially. So the lesson for today, or the moral of the story is, whatever you want in life, give it away. At that time in my life, I just wanted to be happy again. I just wanted to feel better. And I had to learn that if I want to feel better and if I want to be happy, I have to help you be happy also, or at least have the intention of doing that. And my message to you today is, you can be happy. You can have whatever you want in life. Just find a way to give that to somebody else, and it will come back to you multiplicatively, not from the person that you gave it to. And I also learned that from these people too. They helped me and didn't want anything back directly from me. They just did it knowing that by giving to me, it would be given to them from some other source. So that's all I have for today. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me.